Okay, I want to share with you a flat Earth video that I came across a day or two ago, and sort of give a little bit of analysis or what my thoughts are regarding that. But real quickly, let me check this comment here. Earth is as flat as a pancake. If you look closely, it is not exactly flat, right? It's not flat. Been telling people for a while now it's not flat. Earth is not flat, it's bumpy. Makes sense. It's wishful thinking on my part. If it was literally 1,000 years, I know his return would have to be any day now. Well, sure, because for one thing, if it was exactly 1,000 years and it's the year 2022, uh-oh, he's running behind, right? He's a little bit late, just like almost every female I've ever known. They always run on a different clock than I do. They're always late, but that's not the case at all. And it is interesting to consider that maybe 1,000 years were added to the calendar, but even still, that would make it 1,022. And but it's not literal because we don't know the day or the hour when he's going to come. Nobody knows when exactly he's going to come. It's going to be just like a day, just like today. It's going to be on a day just like today. And so, when should we get ready for his return? We should be ready right now. All right. We should be living our life in a representative way, that we are from above and not from below, right? Uh, and when the Lord comes, He should see us living that way. All right. And don't, go back and be like the heathen and live like you used to live, thinking that the Lord is delaying His return, or thinking that He is not going to come today so I can go out there and commit all kinds of sin. Uh, that's because then He doesn't come today, and then you wake up tomorrow with the burdens and the destruction that you've caused for yourself and for others. Right? That's why it's so important not to sin. It's so that we don't hurt others and we don't hurt ourselves. I've heard people say, well, whenever we sin against God. No. God can take it, but what about our friends and our people we love and the people maybe we don't even love, but just the children of parents and people that were hurting? I think we don't want to hurt anybody. We don't want our children to be hurt. Therefore, let's not hurt other people's children. Right? It's terrible. It's painful. It's hard. Life is hard enough. We don't want to add to it, certainly, right? But as for me, I've done enough destruction in my life. I don't want to do anymore. And it's hard, right? It's hard to be perfect. And or at least we can try, right? I mean, just don't do your best to never sin. Be humble all the time. Don't be proud. All right, let's read this one. You said 70 AD has no biblical value, but is that true? Jesus said this, verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Matthew 24, verse 1, 2. This literally happened in 70 AD, and no, it didn't. The foundations even were dug up. No, they weren't. So no stone was left on another of the temple. I would not call it of no biblical value. Is the reason you think of this of no value? Yeah, because not every stone was left upon another, and what Jesus is talking about is the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, when the whole world is destroyed forever. The old world, that is. The old world will go through a massive earthquake. The whole world will change. The world that we're living in now, the whole world is going to shake. And all these stones are going to be thrown down. Not one stone shall be left upon another. So whoever's telling you that every stone was thrown down, they're lying to you. It never happened. Alright, so that there was still a foundation there, and they built upon that foundation. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Jesus is referring to the end of the world. Even the apostles acknowledged that, and that's why they asked him, when shall this be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Because they know when this happens, it's the end of the world. And so I don't agree at all that there's any value in the idea of 70 AD. If things happened in 70 AD that were of biblical significance, it would have been written in vain. Alright, because this is 37 years after the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And here we are. By the time people would have read those manuscripts, it would have already happened, and it would have just done nothing but confuse people. It would have had no significant value at the time, has no significant value today. He's talking about the end of the world. Look, it's probably the most popular view out there, so I'm in the minority. I get it. I'm telling you. I'll have to check. I didn't realize the audio on my end is low. I wonder why that is. I'll have to check it, man. You know what? I got a fan on. I turned the fan off. Maybe that's what it is. You know what? I apologize. Thanks for letting me know about that, because when I play back, I might play back the video just to make sure there's sound, because there was one time when I did like a 50-minute video, and then realized there was no audio. There's a little setting you gotta click to have the audio. So if I check the video, it'll be just to make sure that there's audio. To me, it sounds okay every time I've done that. It's not going to sound good simply because I'm talking, but certainly if there was something I could do to turn up the volume, I would. But I think I can turn the fan off. Maybe I got that stupid fan on. Okay. So anyways, thanks, Roderick. I remember being... Okay, so I read that one already. So let's get into... Oh, where are we at here? Let's get into this video. I want to analyze a little bit. And I don't do this very often. Because generally I cringe when I see people do flat earth videos. Of course, now we got cool people doing cool things, and that's all cool. Right. Back in 2013, there was nobody talking about it. Of course, there would be a lot of people that would comment. And
did you know that the Earth rests on a 66.6 degree tilt?
And there would be people that comment, of course. Back then, everybody was just...
The curvature of the Earth in 1 mile squared is 666.
Didn't want to think and just wanted to curse. And so I had to deal with that for quite a while.
Degrees north and south latitude. These are all mentioned in the heliocentric model of the Earth, which is what NASA and the government
the 66.6.
I would rather be looked at as a
I get it.
quack and believe that the Earth is flat
to me,
than believe that the Earth is round because NASA and the government told me to believe it. 666, nice try, guys. I'm not falling for it.
But right, guys, that's cool that she, comes out and shares her thoughts. See, those kind of things I can handle, right?
Treat for you. You guys remember this show? Yeah, that's Captain Picard.
I never watched Star Trek. I always hated Star Trek.
From the Star Trek Next Generation. I used to love this show when I was a kid. After I got saved and I found out the history and where this name came from, it totally ruined it for me. But that's okay. Not a big deal. But check this out. Guess who this beautiful man is? His name's Auguste, I think. I'm probably butchering it. Picard. And he flew over 55,000 feet high or something like that to observe the Earth.
What do you say?
Auguste, I think. I'm probably butchering it. Picard. And he flew over 55,000 feet high or something like that.
55,000 feet, okay.
To observe the Earth, to see what he could see. And he got interviewed by Popular Science. And his quote was, "It seemed a flat disk with an upturned edge." Here's the...
In other words, there was no curvature. There is no curvature. There wasn't no curvature back then. There's still no curvature today, fellas. Sorry.
issue. If you want to try to dig one up, good luck finding one, but it was in 1931. And here's the snippet where he made his quote. There it is, right there. And of course, before you comment and you come at me with all the Google and Wikipedia stuff, claiming flat earther conspiracies, yeah, I've looked at that stuff too. I hope you're not using those bum sources. This is actually what he said. So you can believe what you want, but he actually said it. I'll give you a little bit more. The Russians went up not long after he...
Well, just to be fair, it's what he's reported to have said. It doesn't mean he actually said it. But the point still stands.
Did. And guess what they said? The same thing. They tried in vain to detect any curvature of the Earth, but to their dismay.
Researchers have confirmed the existence of a second Earth.
A second Earth? Come on, man. Now this is the kind of stuff that's ridiculous.
Those of you who are not spiritually awake, you're not going to understand this, and you're going to think I'm a crazy person.
Yep.
But those of you who do understand the Earth is flat and we live inside of a firmament, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you were to reread the book of Genesis, KJV version.
KJB, not V. The King James Bible is not a version.
Right away you'd know that we're living inside of a firmament. And if you don't want to...
Well, you can look outside and see the clouds in the sky. That is evidence that there's a firmament. That's the firmament.
If you don't know what a firmament is, please just look it up.
What? Yeah. Well, or look out. Okay.
The sun and moon are local. There's no such thing as a solar system. I don't know. I don't know where they get this idea.
It goes back to Baal worship. And it tells us here, for example, you got one mention of the word planet in the entire Bible. It's 2 Kings chapter 23 verse 5, and he put down an idolatrous priest whom the kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense in the high places in the cities of Judah and in the places round about Jerusalem. Them also that burned incense unto Baal, to the sun, to the moon, and to the planets, and to all the host of heaven. This is not a good thing. If you understand 2 Kings chapter 23, they're not doing God's work here, fellas. Alright? This is a bad thing that's going on.
From the beginning of time, it has been the devil's mission to deceive people and lie to people, okay? That's all he wants to do is cause division.
Well, all the devil wants to do is cause division, a division away from God, okay. But, God is doing the same, right? God is causing division between his people and the people of the devil. So, it's not like God's out there trying to unite everybody And he's not going to save everybody. Jesus himself says, "Think not that I've come to bring peace on earth." I came not to send peace, but a sword. Right? He's come to bring division. Suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. So that's important, in my opinion, because there's a whole bunch of people out there teaching that Jesus was not divisive, and then they preach from a Bible that says reject a divisive person. So they're lying about Jesus, one thing, and then they're preaching from a Bible that says reject a divisive person. Just like Jesus, reject Jesus. That's what they're saying. I mean, if you think about what you're reading, that's what it's saying. The NIV, warn a divisive person, warn Jesus, and warn him again, and then have nothing to do with him. Jesus is a divisive person. He flatly, plainly says it.
You look at the NASA logo, look right on it. That little red thing you see that looks like a little triangle, it's a serpent tongue.
Yep, I agree.
Who was in the garden tempting Eve and Adam? The serpent. We've never been to the moon. There was, you can literally...
We've never been to the moon. That's true. They never went to the moon. They faked it. They're liars. And everybody associated with the NASA space program in regards to space travel, they're all lying. Every single one of them. All those people pretending to be in the space station, they could be flying up in the air, just like if they were in an airplane. They are not flying around heaven. They've never been to the moon. They're never going to Mars. They don't have little spaceships flying around taking pictures of Pluto and Uranus in outer space. Okay, so, and no man has ascended up to heaven, right there. Jesus says nobody's went to the moon. You go to, even David didn't fly to the moon. David never flew to the moon. For David has not ascended to the moon. Nobody went to the moon. Nobody's gone to the moon.
Just a little bit of research, you'd know that the moon landing was recorded in Hollywood. Come on, people. There's literally videos.
Why don't we go to the moon today, man? It's been 50 years. Nobody's been to the moon in 50 years. Well, nobody's been to the moon in the last 100 years either. But think about that, man. How many people aren't even 50 years old and nobody's ever been to the moon in their lifetime? Yet during 1970, 72, whenever, 69, whenever there was that great, I think it was 69, they said there was that great quote, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Well, if it was such a giant leap, why aren't we going back? Why can't we go back? Why don't we go back? And what about women? How come women don't get to go to the moon? Why is it just 12 white guys? The 12 apostles of Christ Pope? Is that what it is? I mean, really? Well, what about black people? You don't want black people, Chinese people going to the moon? Why can't they go? Where's the diversity? Why is it just 12 white good old boys? Huh? Are they all from Texas too? Think about that.
I don't even know when it was, but there's videos of some kind of launch, and you can literally see the thing being shot into the sky and bouncing off the firmament, bouncing off the dome. You can see it. It literally looks like waves. Like,
Okay, I've not seen this video that she's talking about. I've seen where they've tried to go up and they can't.
You know, when a boat, like, is just launching through the water and it leaves behind that trail, that's exactly what it looked like. Aliens aren't real. They're fallen angels.
Oh, here we go. This is where I got a problem. Aliens aren't real. That's true. Aliens aren't real. I gotta take a deep breath on this.
Launching through the water and it leaves behind that trail, that's exactly what it looked like. Aliens aren't real. They're fallen angels.
They're fallen angels. There are no green little men from Mars. They're fallen angels. See, you see the problem is they exist, but they're not aliens. They're fallen angels. Come on, man. There are no UFO aliens, period. There are no... Let's just see the evidence. Well, maybe I should take a look at the evidence, right? UFO aliens. They're not UFO aliens. They're fallen angels. Right there. See, that's not a UFO alien. That's a fallen angel. And there's a couple more fallen angels right there. See, look at them. Right? There, more fallen. There's another fallen angel right there. There's fallen angel machine. Airplane machine. That's not a UFO spaceship. That's a fallen angel spaceship. You see how stupid this is? I mean, it's stupid. This right there, there's a UFO. That's not a UFO alien spaceship. That's a fallen angel alien spaceship. There, right there. These aren't UFO aliens. They're fallen angels. There's another fallen angel. Look at him. You can see him clear as day. More fallen angels. There's another fallen angel. Are we alone? No, there's fallen angels right there. Another fallen angel. They're riding in the car, man. Everybody having a good time. Alright. Fallen angel. There's a fallen angel right there. It's not a UFO spaceship. That's a fallen angel. The assumption is that this is all real. This is not real. This is comic book stuff. Right? There's no truth to this. This is not real. That's not fallen angel. This is comic book stuff. Whether it's Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Robin, UFO alien, it's all comic book stuff. Or I'm sorry, not UFO aliens, because they don't exist. Fallen angels. This is not reality, folks. You're living in comic book world. Right? Comic book world. They do not exist. You see this thing right there? Oh, that must be a fallen angel. You see a light in the sky. You see a picture on it. You see a little blurb on a image, and you think, oh, fallen angel. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. You're too gullible. All right, that's beautiful. I gotta get that game. I'm telling you, people are too gullible. They want to believe this stuff. That's why it sells. They want to believe it. All right? It just sounds so fantastic. And to hell with the truth, right? Who cares about the truth? Just give me the fantastic, man. The fantastic. You see that's not a UFO alien. That's a fallen angel. About ready to, carve out a cow. Probably a car too. I don't know. Alien and UFO encounters on the moon. That's not UFO aliens. That's fallen angels. Fallen angels. Fallen angels. That's assuming that this is all true. That none of this is true. None of it is true. There's not one. That's not a real picture of a fallen angel. These are not real images of fallen angels. Not even that one. None of these are real images. They're not real. They don't exist at all. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. They want to hear this stuff. They want to hear about the aliens coming down, or the fallen angels coming down and having sex with your wife. Man, I suspected it the whole time. I knew something was going on. No, that's not reality, man. Or maybe they imagine they're a fallen angel. Or maybe someday they'll be a fallen angel. They'll go down and start having sex with a bunch of women. Huh? Oh, how great would that be? Fantastic, huh? After their own lust. They're dreaming about UFO aliens coming down and having sex, man. Is that not after their own lust? Because they're thinking, oh, I can go out there and have sex with everybody. Well, I can't really do that, but I can dream about it. I can dream about these UFO alien fallen angel creatures coming down and having sex with all kinds of women. Man, how fantastic would that be? And then people talk about, oh, I want to hear what he has to say about it. I mean, to me, it's like the old soap operas, man. The women would tune into the old soap operas because everybody's having sex with everybody, right? And made for great drama. And then you have to tune in the next day to see what happens after, they got caught. They were having an affair and they got busted. Now what happens? Got to tune in. Got to keep tuning in. I mean, that's really kind of the mentality that people have. Driven by sex, man. You throw sex in it and people will tune in. And that's what's going on. Right? These guys are coming down and having sex with women. Oh, wouldn't you like to be like them? Huh? Wouldn't you like to be like this guy, just going down and having sex with all kinds of women? Right? Is this not relatable? And they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto comic books. And that's what we got going on here today. So, anyways, this is the kind of stuff, man, you've got to think about. Just think about it. All right, grow and just consider. Just consider. Wait a second. Wait a second. We're being lied to about this and about that and about this and about that. And then the other thing. And then the other thing beside the other thing. We're being lied to about all kinds of stuff. I pointed out to you numerous times here about, Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21. We're being warned and warned and warned again about deception in the last time. 2 Thessalonians 2. Verse 3 says, let no man deceive you by any means. Let no man deceive you. We're warned over and over again. So why not question everything? You question the ball earth, the heliocentric model. You question that. Why aren't you questioning the, UFO alien, fallen angel, nonsense, really? Why don't you question that? It's not in the Bible. You're not seeing it. You're not seeing it anywhere. These aren't real. That's not real. None of these things are real. Why aren't you questioning that? Take this for example. See, none of these are real. Well, that's a fit. Come on, that's real. It's a fish-eyed lens, but it is real. None of these, though. It's not a real planet, man. It's not real. None of these are real. It's the same thing, man. You're smart enough to question these. You realize, hey, none of these are real. Why aren't you questioning these? It's the same thing, man. It's all comic book stuff. Fantasy, sci-fi stuff. Anyways, I think that's enough, man. Come on. You either put the truth above all else or you don't. You're gonna be vulnerable to lies. I'm telling you, people are too gullible. Alright? Too gullible. People are way too gullible. I worded that funny, didn't I? Like, okay, so Romans 3 verse 4, God forbid, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Let God be true.